Hello, everybody. Welcome tonight. I'm Suzanne Shirley with the Freedom Team, and we are doing Millionaire by Halftime. And we have finally hit chapters 13 and 14, which are going to discuss the two topics of home and hotel events, and then online webinars. So I have my own take on some of these topics here that we're going to discuss tonight, but obviously Presley Swagerty has some incredible expertise to share with us. So I'm going to get into it, and we are going to go there. So let's talk about, and on page 111 on the actual, if you want to call it hardback or softbound book, basically what we call these in Plexus are opportunity meetings. We call them sip and sees, we call them launch events, or if you want to call them a hotel event or launch parties, pink party, whatever you want to call them. And they can range from the most casual affair, a couple of friends sitting around a coffee table at home with a catalog, or all the way up to a formal hotel event where you're giving an opportunity meeting for prospects and for ambassadors. And I want to make that very clear when we get to that point. A lot of people think that hotel events, I'm jumping ahead, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about a hotel event. A lot of people think that hotel events, when they're done in a hotel and it's a formal affair, that an opportunity event in a hotel is specifically for prospects, people that have never seen the compensation plan, people that have really barely heard anything about Plexus, and if we don't have a room full of prospects, then we failed. Really, that is not the case. I want to tell you from my heart, I want to tell you this is proven all across our industry, not only in Plexus, but in every other network marketing company. Hotel events are for ambassadors. I want you to really hear me on that. I'm jumping ahead. Hotel events are for ambassadors. So what do? They provide incredible amounts of belief, a second opportunity for someone new, a new ambassador in the business, to hear the opportunity presented a different way, in a different style, by a different person, to hear it presented again, to hear live testimonies for seasoned ambassadors who have been in the business for some time or a long time, to have a renewed belief, to network with other people that have the same vision, the same belief, the same passions, to get to talk and be in the same room with people who love Plexus. It boosts your morale, it boosts your belief, it makes you willing, ready to go and just move ahead in your business. So if someone tells you, like I've had ambassadors where I've done new meetings for them, and it's very common for them to say, well, we've only got like 5 prospects coming, but I'm like, well, how many other people are going to be there? Well, we're going to have like 15 or 20 maybe total. I'm like, those are your prospects. Those are your prospects. So your ambassadors that are on your team are really your prospects in your hotel meeting, okay? So that's the most important thing to remember. Okay, so let's start off with what he says at the very beginning. Another way to get your business going is to host a home event. I've done them in my home. I've done a few in my home, but not very many. I've done them in other people's homes. They're easy to do, and they're friendly. They're non-threatening way for prospects to see your business. And so it's basically get people and bring them there and then do another one. In fact, I have people on my team right now where I've done them week after week at some point. They got so excited. They're like, I can get some more people to come next week if you can come back and do this again. Absolutely. And I went back and did that again. And then they said, well, we've got some more people that can come next week. I'm sure I can fill this couch up. Can you come back again? Absolutely. I'm serious. I have done that. It was only for one particular leg that I've ever done that, because honestly, for me personally, I don't have a lot of local people on my team where I'm located in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I do have a local team. I do have several different legs, believe it or not, now in Tulsa. There are several separate legs, one very large leg, and then I have 2 small legs, and then a couple of others that are not really building their business. They're wholesale ambassadors, but they have the potential to do so. I've never gotten them all together. There's not really a need to, because my friend Christine, who's my sponsor, believe it or not, she does a monthly, pretty much monthly opportunity meeting, and every person in Tulsa has the opportunity to go to that meeting. I really don't see the need for me to do monthly meetings for my local part of my team, because, you know, when she's doing them already, there's really not a need for it. So I'm just going to be honest with you, and you need to always, if it's you that's making that decision, you need to evaluate your particular team. You need to evaluate who is on your team locally if you're going to do these events. And you need, especially if you're going to rent a hotel room and you're going to have a meeting, before you spend the money, you need to decide who is actually going to show up to this thing. Are you going to have a nice showing? If you're not, then I would just do meetings in somebody's home, because there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm just going to continue to talk without even getting into the book yet. I remember Melissa Eichenhorst, and I will tell you this right now. Before I get off on Melissa Eichenhorst, one thing I want to say, this is one way to build your business, okay? Doing home meetings and doing hotel events eventually when your team gets big enough, or bigger venue events. This is just one way to build your business. This is not the only way to build your business. Now, back in the day, before there was a thing called the internet, and all we had was the regular phone that was hooked to the wall, right? Or it had a cord that came out of the wall, and you had to actually pick up a phone and really talk to somebody, and you had to make these little index cards and write down all your prospects on there, and call your prospects every day on the phone, and then set up meetings and meet them live and take them to a hotel event every single week. That was the only way network marketing could be done in the olden days. But those days are over. Those days are over. We have many different options at our fingertips now. You do not have to have hotel events. You do not have to have home parties. You don't. I'm going to give you two examples. One is Melissa Eichenhorst. Melissa Eichenhorst is a Diamond Ambassador in the state of Texas. And her husband had a business that was a funeral business. And I don't know if he still owns it or not, if he still does it. I'm assuming he still does it. He's in that business. He's a mortician. And so what they would do is, when she started her Plexus business, she got her team together in that in the funeral home, or in the funeral parlor, where there was live, there was road seating, there was a podium and things like that, and they could have their little events in there until they outgrew that thing. And it was every single week they had a meeting locally. And then I remember her saying they outgrew it, and then they had to go to a church where it was bigger. And then they outgrew that. And then they had to go to a bigger venue. And I don't know if she does them every week now. Obviously, she probably does one once a month. Her team is so large, I can't imagine they would need to meet every week, being that we have Zoom, video conferencing like we have here, and various other things. But that is one way to build your team and build belief and build it strong and build it quickly. If you're going to have a local team, if you want to try to build locally, then this is what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to start having events locally, and you're going to need to do it on a weekly basis. You're going to need to hold these events every single week, either in somebody's home or at a coffee shop or some place where there's a room and you can get everybody together. And that is the way, honestly, that is truthfully the way you could build a large local team. Now, do you have to do that? Like I said, no, you do not. You don't have to do it. But it is definitely one way to do it. And it is very profitable, and it is very successful. And I will say another phrase that I've heard 1,000 times since I've become a Plexus ambassador. Meetings equal money. Meetings equal money. So when you have meetings, you're going to make money. And why? Why? Because whatever distributors, ambassadors that show up to that meeting, they get a fire lit in them, okay? They start being on fire for what they're doing. They start believing more. They have a different, higher level of commitment. They go home with a renewed spirit and a confidence in themselves. I'm going to make this work. I'm going to figure out a way to do this. And where I felt like I was in a slump before, well, that's gone. I'm going to make my list. I'm going to rework it. I'm going to get on the phone. I'm going to make some comments, get on the Facebook and get after this thing. That's why meetings equal money. And people in the audience will start to think, well, I know somebody that could really use this. Well, I know they're starting to have these ideas in their head. Well, if that worked for her, I bet my Aunt Susie could really do this. Well, if that worked for him, well, my Uncle Roger really could do this. I really think he could use this business opportunity or these products. It's incredible because it just spurs on a passion in the hearts of your people. And that's why I'm telling you that meetings equal money for sure. And they are for ambassadors. They're mostly for ambassadors. And meetings, I will tell you this, like if you're going to have meetings every week, most of the time, the people that are showing up as potentials that you're bringing, that's not the first time they've heard Plexus and what Plexus is, because they've sat on a phone at least with their sponsor, somebody that's talked to them about Plexus. They've already been shared. They've heard what Plexus is all about. Somebody's probably told them about the triplex combo. Someone's told them about the aspects of our company and the culture, a little bit about the comp plan. It's enough to get them excited enough to come to a meeting. And the meeting is simply the second exposure that these people are going to get. So truthfully, you have people sitting in a room that will join you. If they have not joined you already, they will join you. And if they've already joined you, they're going to want to sign up again, period. So meetings equal money, okay? So I gave you the example of Melissa Eichenhorst. I'm going to give you another one, Christy White. Christy White, let me tell you about her. Christy White, now she's an example of a person that didn't do meetings, all right? So Christy White lived in a small, she still does, lives in a very tiny town in East Texas that has a population of less than 500. They do not have a satellite internet there. She, at the time she started Plexus, did not even have the money to have internet in her home. She bought the $34.95 website fee. That's the only Diamond Ambassador that I know today has actually just purchased the website for herself. And then purchase the welcome pack within 60 days. She's the only one I've never known to do that. It's not common, okay? People need to start off with a welcome pack and get on the products. But what Christy White did, she built her entire organization online. In the beginning, she had no money. Like I said, no satellite. So she went down to the library and used the computers at the library. She started building a base there of people that she got to know and networked online. She literally is an online networker. She knows how to make friends online. She doesn't just friend and add people to her friends list and hope that these people come, contact her. She literally reaches out to people on Facebook, on her audience, and builds new friendships in groups. She gets on the text thing, on the little text app, and she literally texts people and tells them about the Plexus opportunity. She leads with the business, and she follows up with the products. And that's why she went Emerald in 11 months, and she did it from being online. She went Emerald in 11 months, and she did it online, guys. 100% online, okay? Not 1% not online. I mean, literally 100% online. And then what she did is she went Diamond in 2 years. Diamond in 2 years. 100% online. So you have Melissa Eichenhorst, who did meetings all the time, constantly, every single week, meetings, showed the comp plan, showed the products, talked about it, did team meetings, re-exposed everybody to the opportunity of a lifetime, showed a video, got out the product catalogs, passed them around the room. They answered questions, whatever they did. That's Melissa Eichenhorst. And I can tell you right now, that woman probably still does meetings. Christy White still does it the way that she began. She does it all online. Let me give you another one, Molly Orr. Now, Molly Orr is an Emerald Ambassador. She lives in Nevada. She has very small children at home, very, very small children. And her husband is a physician, okay? She cannot be traveling around the country. Her team is everywhere around the country because she built her business online. Her friends, who were her lifelong friends that she knew from college and high school and all that, have joined her, and they're all around the country. So what does she do? She does exactly what we're doing right here. She Zooms with them. She runs her team on Zooms. She does prospecting events on Zooms. Everything is online, 100%. I even talked to her personally in the convention of 2015 when we were at the convention, not this year, but last year. And I asked her, Melanie, how do you do it? Do you fly around? Do you meet with your team? And she says, girlfriend, I have never met my team around the country. If they come to these events, these big corporate events, that's when I see them. And so I'm telling you that this is one way to do it. Okay. Now, is it lucrative? Absolutely. Do you want to do it? If it's something that you're interested in, go for it. Okay. But you don't start something that you cannot be consistent with. I'm going to tell you that right now. And that's why your girlfriend right here has not been doing it. Okay. I have not started doing weekly meetings, honestly, because I'm just not into it. Okay. I don't want to do it. I'm just not into meeting every week and having people in my house or going to people's houses. Now, if they want to have it at their house, I will go to their house and I will do it over there. Absolutely. And I'll go back next week, and the week after that, and the week after that, if they keep having more people that they can show it to. So I want to give an example here. Rose's home event, and it's kind of reflecting of what I just said that I did with one of my team legs, okay? It says, reflecting on home events reminds me of a buddy of mine, Tim Rose. Tim lived in Tyler, Texas, in the eastern part of the state. I live in the Dallas area. Tyler is about 2 hours away, he says. Tim was excited to get his business going, so I said, well, why don't you invite a few folks over to your house, and I'll come over and do a home event for you. So that's exactly what he did. So I drove a couple of hours to get to Tim's house, and we shared the opportunity with a few people. Okay? And 2 of them joined the team, because usually, guys, when you have people at an event, they're going to hear it live, they're going to see it live, they're going to have emotions fly through them, they're going to join you. Okay? Meetings are money. That's why I'm saying they're lucrative, all right? I drove back home that night, and I got home about midnight. Exhausted, probably, right? I remember and by the way, you're exhausted. When you do meetings like that, you're done. You're literally done. You're toast, okay? That's another reason that I'm not all into it, right? I'm not the one starting the meetings and having them at my house and announcing them to everybody. Here we go. We're going to have these meetings, right? I might do that in someday in the future. I don't know, but I'm not ruling it out. Anyway, back to this. I drove back home that night and got home around midnight, exhausted most likely. I remember getting a call the next day. Tim asked, hey, Presley, would you do another presentation tomorrow night? Absolutely, Tim. See? That's what he does. So I drove back to East Texas. We met a few more people in Tim's living room, and the ones who got in on the previous meeting also brought a few folks with them, and the event got a little bit bigger. We showed them the presentation, and a few more people joined the business. I got home again about midnight, exhausted, tapped, no more energy. But our success made me feel good about doing the business. It was working. A couple of days later, Tim called again and said, can we do another event? Home event. Sure, Tim, said Presley. I drove back to Tyler, and that meeting was even bigger. See how they get bigger? You do it and do it and do it, and they get bigger and bigger and bigger. You just keep doing it. It just multiplies. It is inevitable, okay? It's going to happen if you keep doing them. Tim invited a few more people. The people who got in the previous 2 events invited a few more. We got Tim's business off and running by doing several home events. Home events are very laid back. They're casual and non-threatening. They are a great way to get your business jump-started at a fast pace. Home events can lay a foundation for success. Tim is now a top money earner in our company. It all started with just a few home events in Tyler, Texas. As I'm reading this, another Diamond Ambassador came to mind. 2 Diamond Ambassadors. They're sisters. They live here in Oklahoma. It's Kelly Norman and her sister named Tammy Elmore. Kelly is a pastor's wife, I want to say. And Tammy, I'm not for sure if I'm wrong on that, but she sounds like a pastor herself. She can preach like nobody's business. Tammy was a school teacher, a high school math teacher. And the 2 of them joined Plexus, and they paired up. And I remember hearing Tammy tell the story. Literally every single day, Kelly, her sister, would come to the school, pick Tammy up. They would leave from the school, and they would drive to wherever in Oklahoma and do a meeting that night. Then they got home late. Went back. She went to bed, got up the next morning, went to school, did the whole thing over again. Kelly went and picked her up that night. They went and drove and did another meeting. Then they went back to school. I mean, this literally the same thing. Do you know that Tammy Elmore went diamond in 1 year? Tammy Elmore went diamond in 1 year. That's what I remember her saying. Now, if I'm wrong and I forget my little statistics, Forgive me, Tammy, if you're ever listening to this. But I seem to remember that she literally went diamond in a year. And I remember I was just in awe because here I am, a teacher. I didn't do meetings every night. I did not get in my car and go to people's houses every night and do meetings. Guys, I'm just going to be honest. I'm not Tammy Elmore. I have talked to people in my life. For example, the gal that used to be my grad advisor at school, at graduate school. And she said that she didn't even need sleep to survive. Okay, she just didn't even need to have hardly any sleep. Man, she could live with no sleep one night and then have 3 or 4 hours the next night and be totally fine. And this is a woman in her 50s. Okay, that's not common, right? That's not common. For me, teaching took everything out of me. It literally took it all out of me. I was tapped by the end of the day. I was lucky to I got up early, an hour early to go do my Plexus business every day for school. Before school, I got up and that's what I did. I took my lunch period. I stayed sometimes after school a couple hours if I got all my grading done and I got my Plexus business done at school, because once I came home, it was like toast, right? I was downhill from there. Once my eyeballs saw the couch or the chair or the bed, that's where I wanted to be. Unless I went to the gym and I had my training session, because I trained with my trainer twice a week. So I'm just telling you, I'm not a Tammy Elmore, and I did not just leave school and do meetings every night. Does that mean I'm a failure? Absolutely not. I just couldn't handle that. It would have killed me. I think it would have killed me to do that. And I'm just being honest with you. Not everybody is going to do this, right? But I am telling you this. If you decide to do this, if you decide to start running meetings on a weekly basis, not a monthly basis, don't do it monthly. If you do it monthly, it's just forget it. Don't even mess with it. It's too far apart, okay? The only time you do a monthly meeting is when you have a ginormous team and you just need to do a meeting once a month and have them together, okay? That's the only time you do a monthly meeting. But I'm talking about weekly meetings to get your business going, or nightly meetings, okay? So if you're committed to doing this, you will grow quickly. I'm here to tell you that. Not by experience, because I don't have experience doing it, but I have heard so many stories about this. You will grow like a wildfire. All you have to do is get a couple of people in a room that are excited, and they'll bring some people the next night, bring some people the next night, bring some people the next night, and you're off. You're off. I'm not kidding. You will grow a team very quickly. You'll grow a leg very quickly doing that. So you might want to consider that as an option. You might be cut out for this kind of thing. You might have the kind of energy inside of you that says, look, I'm getting this freaking thing done. I'm not going to mess around. Let's do face-to-face. Because guys, let me tell you the advantages of face-to-face. It's right here. It's in the book. Advantages, right? People love to see things in person, okay? And when you can get them in the door and you have their undivided attention, they get excited about something. They get passionate about something. Your enthusiasm is like a wildfire. It just rubs off on them, and they're going to sign up. They're going to sign up. If they haven't signed up yet, they will. Okay? I'm not going to read all this stuff. You can read it. It talks about the advantages and the disadvantages of a home event. I think I went through all these. You might want to use, okay, I'm going to read a couple of the things not to do. Start it on time. Keep the event short. Don't sit there for an hour and a half and give a presentation. People don't want to do that. Finish within the time frame you promised, okay? Don't have any food. People don't need to eat at this thing. This is not for hanging out and eating, okay? Have a drink. Water is the best. Water and maybe the pink drink, and that's it. You don't need to have all this food. Eliminate all the distractions. Get rid of the television, the dogs, the phones, all that business. Keep an entire meeting duplicatable. You want people to realize that they can do it again and again and again. If you're doing it, then the people you're sponsoring need to see, well, I can do this too. This is not hard, right? So you also might want to have a video available to show when you're at this event. I always do. When I've done home events, let me tell you what I do. Now, you don't have to do what I'm doing. You don't have to show a video. If you've got a DVD from the company that's like the online opportunity thing, like, okay, you guys know that we have a 3-day trial decision pack deal. It's a 3-day trial decision pack. Inside of there is a little DVD. And I think it's about a 20-minute video that's the opportunity of your lifetime. And it's really nicely done. You can bring that, pop that in a DVD player, bring a catalog, right? Sit down with a few people, talk about Plexus, tell them about the comp plan. You got it going on. Boom, you're done. You don't need to just drag it on out. That is a simple opportunity meeting, okay? A simple home event. Have somebody talk about a testimonial. Somebody that you brought with you that's already an ambassador, or somebody that's already started the products, tell how they feel, what they've been doing, how it's done for them, you know, how easy it is to talk to people and sponsor them. Have the host edify the presenter. The host, whoever is the host, needs to get up in front and introduce everybody and just, or briefly say, you know, this is my friend such and such. She's got an incredible experience here. This is what she's been doing with Plexus, and this is how she's built this team, and blah, blah, blah. Make sure prospects know that there is going to be a business presentation. You do not want to lie to people. You don't want to trick them into anything. You want them to know where they're going and what they're going to be hearing when they go there. It's a business opportunity, okay? It is the opportunity of a lifetime with Plexus. We are going to hear about the business opportunity and the products. And you need to tell them how it's going to start this time, it's going to end at this time, and they're going to be done. That's it. Now, I love this idea about bringing a bag of ice. I had never heard this before, and I loved it when I read this. Okay, I'm going to read it. This is awesome. Oh my gosh, I put a big star by that. I said, awesome idea. Most times, people will ask if they can bring something. If you are really worried about somebody not showing up, tell the person that you have all the refreshments taken care of. But if they would just bring a bag of ice, it would be a huge help. Don't say, hey, do you think you can? No. Hey, if you'd bring a bag of ice to the event, it'd be a great help. See, you're not asking them to do it. You're telling them that it would be a great help, okay? Now, that's not tricking people, but it's a mental thing, okay? And people will think immediately that they're committed, and there's no way for them to get out of it, honestly. You want them to hear about this incredible opportunity. You're not hurting them. You're not harming them. You're not inconveniencing them. You're giving them a lifetime opportunity to change everything. And let them decide after the meeting is over if that's something that they've done to waste time. So don't be worrying about that you're going to waste their time, right? So now you might end up with this little activity that you've just done with a bag of ice. You may end up with a couple of bags of ice in your freezer. But hey, you will be amazed at how less often people will stand you up when you tell them that, hey, I just need you to bring a bag of ice, right? If they're going to not show up, they're most likely going to call you and say, hey, I just can't do this tonight. I've got something going on. But at least they'll feel like they need to call you instead of just not showing, because you've made them feel obligated by bringing the ice. Does that make sense? So yes, of course it does. And the hotel events basically talks about what I've already reiterated, that they're more for the associates than they are for the prospects. It's a way to rally your team. If you can get a guest to a hotel event, that's awesome, but hotel events are my least favorite first look method. It's really not the greatest place for a prospect to hear about Plexus for the first time. It makes them feel what? Like they're, what is this thing? There's all these people here, it makes them feel like it's a thing. When they hear about it one-on-one with their soon-to-be sponsor, and they've been shown the presentation of the products and the opportunity, they feel like they're interested and they want to learn more. And that's why a hotel event is best for a second look. It's not best for a first look, okay? So home events and one-on-ones and two-on-ones are the favorites for showing people about Plexus the first time and having a first exposure. Hotel events are great for a second look for reinforcement. That's really what a hotel event is for. So remember, it's a rallying event for your ambassadors, and it's a second look opportunity for prospects. That's really all it is, okay? I'm going to tell you one more thing. Hold on. Okay, here, read the rest of this. I'll be done with this chapter, I think. I said I would be, and now I saw something that this story is a really great thing. Okay, when inviting somebody to a hotel event, put the person in your car if you can. Go get them, pick them up, and take him or her to the event. If you can't take him or her to the event, have him or her meet you at a nearby restaurant or a coffee shop before the event. So if they know that they've got to meet you, then they're going to feel like they're standing you up at a coffee shop or something, right? So that way your prospects know that you're showing up for them. You're doing it for them. The thing I wanted to interject is something I heard on a video today, because I train myself every single day. I was listening to Christy White, and this is completely off the topic. It's about business cards, so forgive me, but I think you would want to know. So if you have pen or paper near you, or you think you can just remember this, you'll go back and watch it again. It's like 30 minutes into this video. Don't forget this. This is a great technique, and I can't wait to use this, okay? You're out at Walmart, you're out at the grocery line, you're out at the store, you're out someplace at the mall, and you happen to meet somebody and you've made friends with them. They've done a great job serving you at a restaurant, whatever it may be, okay? And you're going to get their information. You want to, hey, you've told them a little bit about Plexus, and remember to tell them this is an incredible opportunity of a lifetime where you can literally work from home and earn an incredible passive residual income. And honestly, we need to get comfortable with saying that to people. We don't need to say, hey, how are you feeling? Can I help you with your health? What are your health concerns? Okay, that should be the last thing you ask them, okay? Because we can always ask them about their health concerns after we've told them that this is an incredible opportunity that can earn them some passive residual income while working at home, or just 15 to 20 to 30 minutes a day. It's really not that hard of a thing to say to somebody. And when they say, oh, really, that's interesting. Well, can you tell me more? Absolutely. What's the best way to get a hold of you? Okay, so you've got all these different opportunities now. You can say, are you on Facebook? Here, add yourself on Facebook, open it up, get in the search query, and have them type their name in there and friend themselves on your Facebook account. You can do that. You say, okay, well, email. Okay, email's great. Here's the Christy White thing. Okay, you pull out your business card, one business card. You've got it in your pocket, okay? And you pull it out and you say, oh my gosh, this is my last business card. I actually just have one more left. Hey, you know what? I'm so sorry. I don't have any more. I can't really give this to you because it's my last one. Hey, can I take a picture of it and just send it to you? Guess what you're going to get? You're going to get their phone number. You're going to get their phone number. You're going to take a picture of your own business card, and you are going to get their text in the text, and you're going to text it to them. And you're going to send them a picture of your business card. It's a brilliant idea. And now you have their phone number. So you have a way to follow up with them. And when they walk out, then guess what? You got a way to say, hey, such and such, and you're texting them on their phone, and you're also able to call them. It's a brilliant idea. Thank you, Christy White. I hope you paid attention to what I just said. That is probably going to be one of our videos on the training this month. I want you to hear her say that in person, amongst many other things that she's going to say. All right, now, do I really want to do this? Evolution of a hotel meeting. One couple personifies the power of a hotel event. Their names are John and Tammy Nowicki. To understand the impact of hotel events had on their lives and their business, you have to hear their story. Why do I not want to read this? But I do remember it's a great thing because I wrote over here, this is a huge option to build locally. It's a huge option to build locally. So when we first started our network marketing journey in May of 2008, we partnered with Bob and Melinda Nash and Mike Hubbard to see whether we could get something started in our area. Remember, you're building locally. You're going to start in your area. You're going to build locally. The company was launching Georgia as the first state on the okay, now remember, this is a really good story. Okay, the company was launching Georgia as the first state on the highly anticipated national expansion, and we wanted to take advantage of the excitement and huge opportunity. Now remember, this is a company that's not in Georgia yet. They're not there. So they want to expand and grow into Georgia, right? Because the company would be new to Georgia, we all got together and decided to talk to everybody we knew. So we also wanted to provide a place where people could come and learn more after their first introduction to the venture. Now remember, this is a second look. This is a second look opportunity. So they've had a first look with their one-on-one soon-to-be sponsor. This is going to be a second look opportunity. This is a place where you can plug your new prospects in every week and have them have a formal presentation once a week and see this incredible opportunity, all right? Moreover, we anticipated that prospective business partners would want to know that they were going to have some help. Oh, I remember, this is a good story. Now I'm going to love it. Okay. Nobody wants to start something and I feel like he or she is all alone. Okay. So nobody wants to just do this by themselves and feel like they're all on their own doing it, right? So our goal was to create a team environment in which people could have a place to come and get their questions answered. Okay, we first committed to doing a weekly business presentation in a small conference room that Mike Hubbard had at his business. The room would hold about 20 people comfortably, and we set up a laptop projector to show the PowerPoint presentation. Now, do you have to do that? No. It is cool, though, if you're going to do a hotel event, having some sort of visual with a video or something that's visual and audible that they can hear is really powerful, okay? It moves emotion, guys. It moves emotion. You want people make emotional decisions. People don't make logical decisions. They move to buy something and join something on emotion, so don't forget that. Our goal starting out was to present our business in a professional but low-pressure, non-threatening environment. We all committed to 1 day a week, okay? When at least one of them would be available to show the business presentation and teach or train the people who wanted to get started afterwards. So they took turns showing the business presentation. So there were maybe 4 or 5 of them, and not the same 4 or 5 came and showed it every time. It was one guy that did it every week, and the next guy that came and did it the next week. And so Jane and John and Roger and whoever else, Jane didn't have to do it every week. You had Jane, John, Roger, and whoever did it each one a week, right? They just traded off. So we didn't expect big numbers, especially since we were just heading into the summer, but we committed to every Wednesday night. In retrospect, a huge key to our success was the commitment that we made from the very start to do this every Wednesday and never give up on the Wednesdays, right? We all committed to being there whether or not anybody showed up. Whether or not anyone showed up, they were going to go to this meeting. Now, this may sound comical, but our first problem in presenting the business was that none of us knew anything about it. Enter our sponsor, Becky Bigby, okay? So Becky knew that she needed to come to Georgia to help us at the beginning, but she ended up going above and beyond, flying out there about once a month for the first 6 months. So she came out and did one once a month. She flew out every month and did one of their meetings, right? Becky's a top earner in the business, and she knew what we needed. So she came out there and showed them how to do it. Initially, she trained us on how to do the business presentation and then answered a ton of questions for us over the phone. So she was constantly working with them so that they could get this thing started. We kept Mike's conference room set up during the day, and it was common for us to meet prospects daily and then direct them to that second exposure on Wednesday night. Okay, attendance was sparse at first because it's not going to be huge in the beginning. You're not going to have people knowing what you're doing. But we were soon filling the room up as we told a few people, right? The defining moment came when Becky, the top 5 money earner, Greg McCord, who came out to speak. Hold on. Becky and the top 5 money earner, Greg McCord, came out to speak. So now she's bringing a bigger dude with her, right? With not 1, but 2 mega successful networkers, it was a standing room only. So now you got people coming in. Oh, we've got one of the top earners coming. You got to come and hear this. And they all pack in there like sardines. Okay. We probably had 40 to 50 people packed in that small and very hot room. All right. Side note. When I have a diamond ambassador, which I'm going to have on this month, when I have an emerald ambassador come on, or we have a senior ruby ambassador come on, the whole team comes on the Zoom. Have you noticed how many people will join the Zoom when we have one of the big earners in Plexus come on one of our team inspirational trainings? The whole team just shows up for the Zoom, right? So there you go. That's what's going to happen here. It was then that we decided to move to a bigger facility, right? Now they're filling up the room. Becky was supportive of the idea and willing to help finance a move to a local hotel. We started brainstorming how to run a great hotel event. Okay. Becky felt she could line up a steady stream of top leaders, okay, as guest speakers. We found a great high-quality host hotel. Mike came up with fantastic audio-visual equipment, so everybody provided something, right? We made sure that our business plan was exactly by the standards set by corporate. We want to make sure that we follow the rules of corporate, right? We got a commitment from our team to make Wednesday night a priority. So now the team is like, we're doing this. Every Wednesday night, we're doing this, right? We set up greeters to sign up at the table, at the front table every week, so now they've got a responsibility. And Tammy became a great person using the email reminders. to promote the meeting of the speakers, right? So now we've got somebody with the email, somebody with the table set up at the front. We got somebody bringing in the top earners. We got somebody with the slide presentation. We got it going on, right? We did trainings in addition to the BP, which is the business plan. After the meeting, we hung around to socialize, and then we met at a local restaurant for our sizzle session afterwards, okay? So as our event started at the hotel, Becky did exactly as she had said she would, and she brought in the top money earner as a guest speaker almost every single week. And we quickly realized how powerful everybody's story was, and we started to promote the speaker stories from week to week. The promotion of the events became a huge key. We could not just expect people to show up. We had to give them a reason to want to come. The initial room that we had at the hotel quickly filled up. We had them move us into the amphitheater room to accommodate all the guests. The amazing amphitheater fueled the fire, right, because it's huge, and the momentum really took off about 2 months in. It culminated with the appearance of the author of this book and our company's #1 earner, Presley Swagerty. We had been regularly filling the amphitheater when other top money earners spoke. But with Presley, we had to bring in extra chairs for the floor area, and we had people sitting on the steps, probably on the floor, probably standing around the room because there was no chair to sit in, right? We initially set out to start something in our little area of Georgia, but an amazing thing happened along the way. Not only did our team explode, listen to that word, explode, and grow beyond our wildest dreams, but the hotel event we started also took on a life of its own. Through that amazing phenomenon, our hotel event became an integral key to growing many other teams across the state and across the country as well. We were just blessed to be a part of it, and that was John and Tammy Nowicki. So, you want to build momentum locally? You want to build momentum locally? Weekly meetings. Weekly meetings. Remember, they're not first-time showings. They're second looks. So that means you're working your business on the day-to-day basis, and every week you're bringing in those prospects for a second look, and you're closing the deal. Because that's basically what those second look meetings are. They close the deal, guys. And the ambassadors that just joined you the week before, they come to the meeting too, and they get more excited, and they start bringing people, okay? And it just becomes like a snowball. So I'm telling you, this is one way to build your team. I'm not going to read arrive early, have fun, care about all the details, make sure things are done right. Don't be don't be shoddy with all the details. Make sure the air conditioner and all that is right, the chairs are comfortable, etc. If you're going to send somebody to an event that you're not going to be at, make sure you call the presenter ahead of time, arrange for them to be there, know exactly, get the directions, make sure that they know exactly how to get there, how many people are going to be there, make sure that that person is comfortable with it. Okay, I'm finished up with the chapter now. Okay, so here it is, homework time. Host a home event. That's it. Simple. But will you do it? If your own home cannot accommodate people, ask a friend or a family member, if you can use his or her home. A great strategy to make sure that the person will be in attendance. So if you're wanting your brother to see your business, just say, hey, can we use your living room, John? 2 weeks from now, can I use your living room? I gotta show a meeting. Well, John hopefully will be there. You're gonna get him to bring a bag of ice, right? I don't know. Hopefully you'll get him to be there, right? So once you've scheduled this home event, invite your sponsor and your team leaders. Then, of course, invite your guests. Consider yourself the promoter for this event. And your role is to put butts in seats. That's all. Get people in the seats. The more people, the better. Having too many people is a good problem to have. You want to have more people than you have seats, right? It makes it look like this is an incredible opportunity, and then people don't want to miss out on it. Number 2, the key is to make it immediate action. Take immediate action and schedule your initial home event now. So if you've not ever had a launch party, or you've never had a home event, and you're sitting around thinking about it, and you're thinking, that might be something pretty profitable, you might want to consider doing it. Have yourself a launch event. Next, follow this up by setting a second home event, and then a third, right? This allows your guests to invite their guests. Now they can start inviting their people, right, to the following time. If it starts with just one person, well, it's a start. Go from there. Build it to 2 people and then to 4 people. It's like starting with a penny. You keep doubling it, and soon you'll have a whole fortune. The key is to start with that first penny. that first home event with that first guest, important note, your enthusiasm, 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 more than anything else will get them in those seats and then into your business. I have an entire team in Tulsa that's an entire leg that's built from a home event that nobody showed up to until the last 45 minutes. The 45 minutes had passed. I think I made the mistake of putting on the graphic. I was a brand new ambassador. Come and go. That's what I put on the graphic. Come and go. You don't ever put come and go on a presentation. That was dumb. So we waited around for 45 or 50 minutes. We were literally going to get in the car and go to out of town to a place that we like to go and have barbecue, right? Down in a different city here. And we were literally going to pack up. I think I had gone to put some lipstick on. We were going to get our things together and we were going to get in the car and go. And here these two came in the door. And it happened to be Kim Emmy and her mother Tammy, and they both joined me. Tammy had already been in. She brought her daughter Kim. Kim has a huge team, and it's in Tulsa, and it's several other states as well. So a local team from a home event, one person showed up. I'm telling you something, I have done them. I just don't do them every week. Okay, I've done my own launch event. I've done other people's launch events. They're incredible. So you might want to consider doing it. We're going to move on to, oh, geez, long-winded. So long-winded. Sorry. I just can't help myself. I always have so much to say. Webinars, page 121. Okay. What this chapter includes is a phone call with a third party. So a third party phone call. A webinar first look, that's what's in this chapter, okay? And a phone call follow-up with a 30-minute, with a third party after a 20-minute video that's played, okay? So this is basically a three-way call only using a video to do it, okay? You get on the phone. This is called the first look. First look. And this is a guy named, what's his face? Ajax. Okay, I'm trying to get his name. Ajax Okay, I can't say it. Doherty. Ajax Doherty. Sorry. Okay, he's got this thing called the first look. I'm just going to give you the gist of it. I don't want to read the whole thing. Basically, he gets on the phone with his prospect to, no, wait a minute. Ajax has a distributor on his team, okay, that has a prospect that wants to hear about this opportunity. So Ajax gets on the phone with his new ambassador, his new distributor, and gets to hear about the prospect. Okay, tell me about this guy we're going to present to tonight. Okay, he's this, he's that, he's this, he's that. He wants to do this, he wants to do that. He's interested in this, he's interested in that. Great. Okay, wonderful. So Ajax and the new distributor call up the prospect and they say, hey, we're really so glad that we're on the phone with you here tonight. They take about 5 minutes to build rapport. Ajax, who is the upline, obviously, the business presenter, he talks to the new prospect and gets to know him and builds a friendship a little bit for about 5 minutes. And then he says, well, hey, we've got a video we'd like for you to watch, and we just sent you the link. It takes about 20 minutes, 15 or 20 minutes. So we're going to call you back at about whatever o'clock, which is 20 minutes later, and we're going to hear what you have to say about it. So we want you to take out a piece of paper, and on this piece of paper, draw a line down the middle. On the left-hand side, we want you to write down all the questions you have during the video presentation. And on the right-hand side, we want you to write down all the names of the people that you're thinking of that could really take advantage of this thing and really could use the business opportunity or the products. And so we're going to call you back in 20 minutes. So be by your phone, and here we go. Push play, and there you go. And so they're off the phone. They get off the phone. The prospect then supposedly puts in the video or clicks on the video and watches it, makes their little list, etc. And then 20 minutes later, they call them back up on the phone. Hey, Mr. Prospect, this is Ajax and my new distributor, and we're just here to talk to you. How did you like the video? Well, I'm not finished watching it yet. Okay, well, here we go. How many more minutes do you have? Well, I've got about 3 or 4 minutes. Okay, well, we'll just wait. So you wait for 3 or 4 minutes, let him finish it. Okay, maybe he had to go up and go to the bathroom or do something. He's not finished with it yet, right? Okay, and so now you get back on the phone, and he's finished watching it. And so now, this is called the follow-up call. Here you are. Lots of names and some questions. Lots of names and some questions. So they got a lot of names they wrote down, and they have some questions. So names and no questions are great indicators of interest. So if they have a lot of names and they don't have any questions down, well, they're really wanting to get in. They don't have any concerns, they're ready to go, right? But ask her to share her questions, beginning with the one that's most important to her. So what's your most important question? Let's start with your questions first. And so then they say, how would you like your name? Okay, once you do that, answer the question, and then say, how would you like your name to appear on your checks? Oh, that's a great line. Then start the enrollment. See, you're already closing before you start closing. You just start closing, assuming they're going to join you, right? Now, if they have no names written down and no questions, well, you can't tell what they're doing here. So no names and no questions leave us unsure as to the interest level of the prospect. He says, I'd say, what do you like best about our business venture? You know, ask them a question. Get them to give you some sort of information because you don't have any information. You don't know their interest level, so you're going to have to ask them a question. Proceed based on the level of interest that they're indicating there, okay? Now, if you have a few names and some questions, then you know that they have some big objections they're probably thinking about and some things that they're trying to overcome. So this indicates interest, but the level of interest is still to be determined. You're going to have to probably overcome some objections. In this example, I like to ask the prospect, which of her questions is the most critical to establishing her level of interest? And then I say, and this is important conversation here. This is anything you can do when you're on a three-way call. You're talking to somebody on a three-way call. They've not seen a video, whatever. You're just talking to them. And which out of, what's your most important question that would determine your level of interest, that could get you interested in Plexus? What's the most critical thing that you're concerned about, that you have a question, and then address it, right? So if I can answer that question to your satisfaction, is there any reason why you wouldn't like to get started today? See, that is assuming you're going to close the deal. Okay, that's a closing statement. If I can answer that question to your satisfaction, is there any reason why you would not like to get started today? And if she replies no, answer the question satisfactorily and begin the enrollment. Okay, if I can tell the time is not right for the prospect's life, because some people just have crisis going on. Their kid is sick, somebody's been in the hospital, somebody just died, they've got a lot of car repairs, they don't know if they can afford to do this, they're telling you that they want to join, but this is just not the right time. You know what? It's not the right time if they have chaos going on in their lives. You don't want to try to push something on somebody when they're so distracted that they can't do anything with this. So you go right into the follow-up mode. You just start following up with them. And you say exactly, we understand timing is everything. Right? Timing is everything for all of you that are watching this tonight. You know how long it took you to become interested in this. And then he gives some success stories with this. I'm not going to read them. Basically, the gist is, if you've got a teacher on one of these things, you need to get an upline that's a teacher to do the three-way call with you. If you have a lawyer, then you want to get a lawyer, if you have one, on the three-way call that's going to give that lawyer validation that, hey, if a lawyer can do it, I can do it. If you've got a doctor on there, get a doctor to do the three-way call. Anybody that has massive amount of experience in Plexus, that's basically what you want to do. If you don't have a doctor or a lawyer that you can get on with one of your doctor and lawyer prospects, that doesn't mean you're sold out and you don't have any way to do it. You just need a very valid, successful third-party person to get on that phone. Okay, and that's basically it. The webinars, I'm going to finish up on time. I swear I'm going to do it. I'm rushing through it. Webinars, look at this. We have power hours. We call these Plexus power hours in our team that we do every single month. We've done 3 of them so far. We're getting ready to have a 4th one this month. It's going to be really cool. It uses the internet to share your business presentation. Webinars are great. They're a great tool to use when your prospect is too busy or too far away to use some other method like a home meeting or whatever. So you simply plug your prospects into an already established webinar. So this is something that's already established online. You've announced it for the last 3 or 4 or 5 days, and you've invited them, and now here the thing starts, and it's a live event, and you have them on. You've got product explanations, you've got the business opportunity, and what do we share on the webinar? We share the business opportunity first. You get people to understand that they can make a great passive residual income with this opportunity straight from home on the internet, no parties, no inventory. You let them know what this is, and then you back it up by saying, what are your health goals? What are your health goals? Here's some testimonies over here where these people have literally changed their whole lives. And then you show them the health testimonies, and it backs up everything you've just now said with the business opportunity, because all these people on these testimonies are making money too. They're not just having a health testimony. They have checks coming in every single month, and it's valid. You just validate your whole thing that you're doing that way. It's a perfect sequence of doing a webinar. You always present the opportunity, you weave in the products, you get the testimonies out there, and you've got a perfect trifecta, really, okay? It tells you what to do. You've got no boundaries. It's comfortable for people. It's not time. It's not like all-inclusive with a certain amount of time. It's the disadvantages is it's not a personal presentation. It's not personal, right? You want it more personal. You might have some technology problems, right? We've had a few technology problems, haven't we, Susie? Yeah, we have. And you know what? That's okay. Just it's one of the downfalls of doing one of these things. You got to practice before you get a guest on a webinar. And that's what we did, didn't we, Susie? We practiced. She's watching right now. We did a lot of practicing. We printed off the script. We practiced. We did a run through before we ever had anybody live on this thing. We call our prospects on 15 minutes early. Make sure that they're going to be on this thing. We get all the presenters on there. Make sure they're lined up. So basically do some organization. Make sure your people, hey, we got this webinar coming on here in about 15 minutes. Make sure you click on the link. You text them, hey, don't forget this is starting in 15 minutes. You post it on your Facebook wall about 10 minutes before it's going to start. Hey, this is starting live in 10 minutes at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And everybody on Facebook is going to click on it that's on your friends list that's curious about Plexus. And you won't know who's watching it. That's the only downfall about posting it on your timeline. You post it on your timeline, you don't know who's watching it. You just don't. If you text it to people and you really want them to see it, you can ask them, you can say, how did you like the webinar? You assume they watched it. How did you like the webinar? Don't say, hey, did you watch the webinar? Don't do it. Don't ask that. Say, what did you like the most about that webinar? What did you like the most about the opportunity of a lifetime? What about that presentation was just so spectacular that made you so amazed at this? Okay, that's what you ask people. Just like when you're following up with somebody about the product, you say, what do you love about your Plexus Slim? What do you love about what Plexus is doing for your life? You don't ever say, so what did you think? Did you take your pink drink? Did you drink it? Did you watch the webinar? Don't do it. I'm not going to read the homework, okay, because I think we're done. All right, so I'm going to gallery. Hi, everybody. I'm going to unmute, and here we are. Look, I did it in an hour. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? I did it. What did you think?
I want to do some home parties.
Hey, you know what? Honestly, I thought before I did these 2 chapters, I thought, well, this is going to be kind of a washout tonight because I don't do these. And, you know, I don't know if, you know, because nobody really does this in Plexus. And then the more I started to talk, the more I remembered all these people that do them. And it made me start thinking, well, Suzanne, you've been kind of a doofus for not doing this. You should have been doing it. It gives me the idea that maybe I should do it now, you know. So anyway, that's my thoughts on it.
Allie and I did one last night.
You did?
Yep.
Let's hear it. What'd you do?
It was only our new prospect and her mom, but it was the best training tool, and it was a little terrifying because her mom was super skeptical, like scary skeptical.
Right.
And Allie and I had to be experts on every single product and explain to her why it worked and how we knew it worked. And I have a health testimony for every single product now. So she looked at me and was just like, oh, great. And then business-wise, I felt so bad for this poor girl. She was just like, do you see this? Do you see how these women are super successful? Go finish your degree and then you can be like them. And go learn all this so you can be super good in Plexus. I'm like, oh, thank you. So it was really like encouraging, and it was an awesome training tool.
Oh, good.
Do it. That's fun.
Good. Don't you see, would you agree, Heather, that when you meet with people in person, that it's powerful?
Very, very powerful. Like, we got hugs, we got tears, you know.
See,
and there was only
emotion starts to take place when you get in front of people in their faces, whether it's at a restaurant, okay, whether it's at somebody's house. If you can get this in front of somebody, personal, face to face, you are going to most likely sign them. It's just inevitable, okay? The next best thing is this, the phone, okay? And the worst thing you can do is text people for a year, and then they'll join you after a year. I mean, you take or pick or choose here. You want to see somebody sign up, you're going to get in front of them. You're just going to get in front of them, right?
We have one scheduled for a wellness center too. Like I go to an acupuncturist, and so they're all about like healthy living and clean living, and they're just starting. So they want to have us there to potentially join underneath me as an entity, which would be awesome. But we're going to do basically like a trunk show type situation for them.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yay. Any other thoughts or questions or comments, reflections?
I like the event.
You do.
I
Let's hear it, Kelly.
Tina to do some with me. Tina, you hear that?
You got a whole team in Wisconsin that can do it with you. You got all your team in Wisconsin that can do it.
That's right.
And we can do it at my house.
Sounds good.
Go for it, girls. I'm serious. Go for it.
We were thinking, she's not on our team, but she's on Blessed. Tracy Millionaire, I think that's how you say her last name.
Okay.
She was at our meeting. Her and Lisa came to our meeting when you came here. But she had asked me if we to team up and do some sip and sees and things like that at like libraries or something. So I think we're going to do that with whoever on our team, that's local that wants to join in. But, we'll see how that goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I went with one of mine today, one of my ambassadors, and she's planning a pool party, poolside sip and see.
Good.
So we're going to get that done this month. I have a quick question on the webinar, and maybe you already addressed this. I missed it in there somewhere. My computer's missing in and out. I know that Plexus in the back office, that's something that's, it looks like it's coming soon. Do we know when that's going to be coming? In our tool, I don't think it's under tools. I can't remember, but it has it set up for webinar.
It's yes, it is a live video conferencing software that comes with InfoTracks, which is the website basis platform that we have with our Evo. That's a tool that's part of InfoTracks. They just haven't rolled it out yet. So it's basically like what we're doing here with Zoom. It's a way to video conference.
Okay, because I just had seen webinar and I kept thinking, okay, when is all of this stuff coming out? Or
that hasn't been rolled out, and I don't know if they ever will, quite frankly, because Plexus has a contract with Zoom now.
Okay.
They have, like where we have a discount. You can get Zoom at a great discount every single month, and it's worth every penny that you pay. I think $9.99. Yes. You get
I pay for mine. How do I get that discount code?
It came out in an email.
You should call them and tell them. I think it's Plexus 10 or something like that.
I mean, it's only
service.
Okay.
Do you think calling customer service?
Oh.
They called me and told me about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't mean to pay for the whole year, but it charged me for the whole year when I tried to do it. So whatever, it wasn't that much because with the discount, but yeah.
Next time I'm going to do it for the whole year because I'm tired of logging into my tax software and making an expense thing for it every single month. It's just getting old. I'm trying to remember to do it, and I have to go back and do it 2 months in the past. I'm tired of it. All of this is tax deductible, guys, so don't forget that. All tax deductible. You're going to want to hang on to all that stuff. It's a business expense. Okay, any other reflections on tonight?
Great as always.
Thank you. You guys are great. You're always showing up with your smiles, with your wonderful attitudes, and I just appreciate all of you so much. You did stellar job this month. Stellar team advancement. Oh, I mean, look at you. You're on fire, all of you. I will say this in retrospect or in commit. It's still with what we're talking about here tonight. There is a time when you start, if you build your team all over the country and they have not seen you, there is a time where you're going to have to put some money into going where they're at. So if you build a team out of state, or if you build a team out of town, there will be a time where you're going to have to put some money in and go and do an event for them. And that basically, like I said, meetings are money. Meetings are money. So it's money for that team, because that team will grow. And it won't just be for you, it's going to be for them. They are going to literally take off. Their belief goes to the clouds, and they're more inspired than ever to just do it. They start to see that anybody can do this. If this person can do it, I can do it. And it really is incredible. And there's something to be said about showing up in the town where you have built a team, and you're part of your family. So you need to treat them that way. And that's what I have to say. And in Plexus, especially because we are so spread out over the country, we don't just do local things and then grow over here and then build over there. We literally sponsor all around the country. And so that's what we have to deal with, that paradigm. Eventually traveling comes a time. You don't have to. Like I said, Christy White doesn't travel. And the reason I heard her say on her Zoom that she doesn't travel is because she's a diamond, and they are in massive amounts of debt, like mega debt, okay? And she puts ginormous chunks of money on that debt every single month. And they live nicely, and they go take on a vacation every year, and they don't struggle for food anymore like they used to, because they didn't have food in their cabinets or the refrigerator. But she doesn't travel, and she tells her team, look guys, I will Zoom with you. If you want to put me in the room with all your people in a meeting, put me on the TV and I'll Zoom on the TV. And you just take an HDMI cord, and that's what I do. I take my laptop that I'm using right here, and I take an HDMI cord, and it cooks from your laptop into the television, and it will play audio and video. And you can have a live Zoom literally on a television screen, and you can have the team leader in a living room with a meeting with all of your people. And I'm telling you, it is very powerful. I know Sarah Robbins does it, and she's the top of her company in Rodan Fields. I know she talks about it in her books and her materials. That's what she does. When she can't travel, she will Zoom with prospects in living rooms, and she will Zoom in living rooms with meetings in places wherever she can't be at. So anyway, it's an incredible thing we can do. We don't have to actually travel, but we need to, in a way, be there with our teams. So anyway, last little side note I wanted to bring in.
Yeah, because it's nice to meet everybody, too, in person. It's fun.
That's the whole purpose. You got networking and loving on each other and being there. We're family. We don't need to be separated. We need to get together as often as we can. And if Mary would let me, I'd move into her third bedroom. At least like maybe once a month I'd come over and stay with her.
You can come whenever you want.
I know. I appreciate that. I promise I won't do that to you.
Is that the bedroom with the little bed, Mary?
Yeah, that's Liam's room.
Well, that's Liam's room. We kind of call the other one Pam's room, but we can hyphenate it and be Suzanne and Pam's room.
Oh, that's sweet. Pam's local though, so she's probably local.
No, she's not. She's not local. She lives about 2 hours away, but Madison is her territory for work, so she's down here all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, I show up at Allie's house at 6 a.m. But it's because I help her with Carson, and then I help door and while we feed Carson, and then we have like a nice little day. So it's nice to have like your support.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm lucky that she's so close by.
Okay, well, this was a fantastic, incredible thing. I have a month. I know that we're still recording, so I'm going to say good. Everybody stay on. I'm going to stop recording. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.